What's up, you guys? It has been so long since I've done a training, since I've even showed my face on here. So I am so happy to be settled in our new house in South Carolina and to be able to provide trainings for you guys again. So I just got off of a connection call with Hannah Hall, our superstar director. And we were just kind of chatting things about the new year, about, what I see for my business, for our team, all the things. And as many of you guys know, I just recently moved. We are almost 18 weeks pregnant, and I am about to graduate. So we have had so many life changes, and in that comes completely uprooting and moving my business 500 miles away. So I have had to totally reconsider the way that I do things in my business. I am still learning as I go, learning what works down here, trying to build customers down here while still taking really good care of my customers in Ohio, trying to do all the things. So it's definitely been a learning curve these first few weeks. And so because we're learning as we go, Hannah and I were talking about different mottos and stuff, and we said to do less better. And that is really my goal for 2022, for myself and for all of you as well. And the way to do less better is to have healthy habits in place. And I was watching a training from Chloe Cox. You guys know how much I love her. And I was just so inspired by the way she talks about different habits and how having healthy habits, even if they're small, can really create big waves in your business. So I just wanted to come on here and kind of share what's on my heart. And I know a lot of you guys are at work right now, so go ahead and comment replay if you catch the replay. If you do catch the live, make sure you say hi. But I do apologize. Our Wi-Fi does not like me going live yet. We're going to have a little chat because this is going to be like an all-time thing. But that's all right. So coming at you about healthy habits, and this is really for those of you that actually want a business out of Scentsy. If Scentsy is just a hobby for you, if you just enjoy putting in your own orders and even just your mom's orders, your sister's orders, your dad's orders, whatever, if you just kind of do it for a hobby and you don't really want to make a business out of this, then this really isn't for you. Please feel free to still watch. I'd love to still see if something speaks to you, but I just want to kind of preface it by saying that if you don't want this to be a big, massive business, I may try to take my Wi-Fi off. Okay, let's see how that goes. We shall see. Okay, but if you don't want this to be a business that really does change your life, then this training's not for you. It's going to be short, sweet. I promise. I do like to talk, but I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. But let's start with the fact that if you want to make this a business, if you want 2022 to be your year, we have to start showing up. And I don't say you, I don't say I say we, because life gets in the way, and I get that. I am trying to graduate right now, so I have my final project. I'm studying for boards. I'm trying to not throw up 24/7 from being pregnant all the time, but we have to be better about showing up. And that doesn't just mean showing up for yourself and for your business. We all know we should do that. But that means showing up in this group page, in the Boss Babes page. That means showing up for things like World Tour. That means showing up for team trainings. And I know that a lot of you guys are like, well, you guys already post on the page, so I don't need to post anything. No, we want to hear from all of you. I don't care if you started yesterday. We want to hear your ideas. We want to see how you're working your business. I should not be the only one posting in here. I know myself and Brooke. Brooke's amazing about helping me post in here, but we should not be the only two posting in here. Show up. That is literally step one. Show up, and then you learn as you go. You will never know everything about anything. So just throwing that out there. So you have to show up and learn as you go. Chloe Cox uses the analogy of flying the plane and then building it once you're up in the air. So learning as you go. So what are we going to do this year to really take control of our business? How are we going to start 2022 off strong to then continue the whole year to really change our lives, our family lives, and do all the big things that we want to do? So Chloe talks about the fact that we have got to write down our goals first. So if you have not written down your 2022 goals, you need to start there. What are you even working towards? So again, this is for people that want this to be a business. Why do you want it to be a business? What do you want Cincy to do for you? You have to start there, because if you don't even know what you're working towards, how do you even begin to build habits to work towards that if you don't even know what the end goal is? Doesn't make sense, right? But once you get there, once you get your goals written down, do not just say, oh, my goal is to sell 2,000 PRV a month and recruit 10 new people. No, write it down. Write it down, hang it up on your desk, put it in your phone if you're more of a digital person, but physically write it down. Don't just leave it in your head. And then as far as the habits go, some healthy habits that will help you have a successful business once you have those goals. That's primary, those, writing your goals. Don't put things off. Don't say, oh, it can wait until tomorrow. Because if you think it can wait until tomorrow, it probably should have been done yesterday. And that includes things like sending out mailers. That includes things like booking parties. We should be front loading our calendar. That's another habit. But we should be front loading with our sales, with our recruiting conversations early in the month. Don't say, oh, I'll do that next week. Because guess what? Next week's going to come and you're going to be just as busy, if not busier, because life happens and you have no idea what's in the cards for you next week. And then you can't do it next week either. So then it gets pushed off again and again. And next thing you know, it's next month and you're still in the same exact place you were last month. And I said this in a training in Hustle to Director, that one of the quotes that really speaks to me is, you shouldn't be afraid to fail. You should be afraid of being in the same place you are, or that you were last year. That scares me more than trying and failing, because I don't want to be stagnant. I don't want to be stuck in the same place. And the fact that I've built a business in Ohio and done all these things to get where I am today, and now I have to completely flip it upside down and restart, scares me, because I don't want to be in the same place. I want to be better than I was last year, than I was last month, than I was last week. My biggest competition is myself, no one else. So don't wait, because if you wait, this time next year, you're going to be thinking, wow, Liz was right. I'm stuck in the exact same place I was last year. Habit number 2 is to have a clean office space or a clean workspace or wherever you work. If that's the kitchen table, if you do have a designated office space, if it's a closet, if it's in your bedroom, whatever, throw all the crap away. This is what I'm going to be working on, because I have so many things that are outdated. So many fall and winter things that I didn't use. So many flyers that I never got to use. Throw the crap away. It's not making you money by just sitting there. So things like, even like your testers, get those out. We only have a couple more weeks left of this month to get that stuff out. It's not making you money sitting in the corner of your room. Get the testers out, get the stuff out, because all it's doing is crowding your space, not making you money, and making you anxious every time you walk into your office and you don't know where crap is. So start there. If it's still in the same place as it was 6 months ago, if you got something, say your catalogs or your testers, and you purchase those and you set them down, and now 6 months later you're picking them back up from the same spot, that's a problem. That's procrastination, and that is a direct result of you procrastinating for the last 6 months. So if that happens, it's time to take a real good hard look in the mirror, but realize that we're going to change. We're going to do better next time, because we're not going to be in the same spot this time next year. Habit number 3 is to start working on new signage for the catalog. We are a digital world, especially after Rona, but even before that, you have got to learn how to do Canva, learn how to do signage, learn how to do all the flyers. I am happy to share flyers and postage and all that kind of stuff with you, but you've got to learn how to do Canva. And it's not something that really someone can teach you. You can go and watch YouTube videos. I have told you a million times, I built my business off YouTube videos, but Canva is truly something that you have to just get your feet wet and play with. So if you have not, after you throw all your crap away of all the stuff you didn't use last season, work on new signage for this season. The 4th habit I was going to talk about was front loading your calendar, but I already talked about that. That means booking parties, and everyone wants to know what the magic number is for booking parties. I think it really depends on the person. I think you need parties. I don't think 0 is a magic number. In fact, I know 0 is not the magic number. Chloe Cox says if you want to build a big business, between 6 and 8 a month. However, I know some people stick to that 4 number and then they want to start there and then they'll build from there. Find out what that number is. Again, it's not 0. You need to be booking parties, but front load that early in the month. So then you can kind of plan out the rest of your month. Whenever those limited time offers come, great. You have added PRV you didn't account for. But do not wait to book your parties until the end of the month. Not to mention, you want to have all of the sales for a party in that month, because if you flip the hostess and they get the sales, they only get the sales of that current month. So book your parties early in the month. Be disciplined. So this is hard. It's hard work. It's so much easier to go turn on a show on Netflix every night after work, or after you put the kids to bed, or after you make your spouse dinner or whatever. It's so much easier to just do that. But that's what happens. We get lazy, we get stagnant, we get comfortable, and the next thing you know, we're still in the same place a year from now. That is what motivates me. And now, not only do I have a husband that is going to motivate me, but I have a child on the way that motivates me to want to be better, to provide the life for her. So find out what motivates you and be disciplined for them. If you can't internally discipline yourself, if you're just not that person, that's okay. Not everyone has a really high drive. I think it's something that you kind of learn as you go. And if there's no other options, then there's no other options. But you have to be able to, and have to be willing to be disciplined and do the hard things. And last but not least, the one single most important habit, in my opinion, is to not be afraid of failure. 2022 can be the year of big things, but if we are in the same spot next year, it's because we had a fear of failure and we were truly afraid to fail. And then you're going to end up in the exact same spot because you didn't put yourself out there, you didn't take the risks, you didn't do the hard things to then lead you to failure, because it's inevitable. Failure is inevitable and it's a part of life. However, sorry, my notes just went away. However, we all have parties that fail. We all have months that we wish we got more PRV. I think that January is going to be a month of failure for me because I am learning how to run a business from an entirely new state where I know like 2 people. And one of them is my mom. I know my dog just knocked my broom down. But I know no one here. So failure is going to be inevitable for me this month because I have to figure out how to run a business that remote and with people I don't know. So I'm going to fail this month, but that's okay because my drive to not be in the same place as I am next year is bigger than my fear to have a month of a couple trip ups. So those are the habits that I think are going to be really important for 2022. Take the ones that speak to you. If you have 1 or 2 that you really move you, write them down, post them, hold yourself accountable for those type of things. But habits involve movement. And I think that that is so important. A habit is not something that, oh, I'm going to sit here for 30 minutes. That's not a habit. A habit is for the next 30 minutes of, say, once a week, I'm going to make samples for all my customers. And these habits should be habits that make you money. That should be inevitable. Don't do things that don't make you money because you're just wasting your time. But that's a story for another day. Habits involve movement. And I know that everyone in this group has the potential if you want this business to be a business. If you don't want this business to be a business, then it's okay. It's totally fine to be a hobby and you just put in your own orders or whatever. That's your call. But if you want this to be a business, you have the potential because you're declaring you want it to be a business. So don't self-sabotage yourself this year and not have the healthy habits that we talked about and not have the drive to get things done, because with hard work and consistency, this business can change your life. I think I've said that a million times since I joined, and I'll say it a million more. So I'm going to leave you with those. If you have any questions about any of the things we talked about today, let me know. Like I said, I do plan to do more trainings for you guys now that we are settled, which is really exciting. But I just wanted to start with 2022, our first training being one of those kind of like, let's get motivated, let's get started. Why are we doing what we do anyway? So start with your goals, write down your healthy habits, and get to work. I'll see you guys next time.